Good afternoon. Hope you are all well. I am going to show today this Scrappy technique, which I have to say, whenever I've looked at cards, I've thought, how on earth do you work that out? And then I watched Bruno Bertucci, and I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, Bruno, on YouTube, and wow, this is amazing. So I'm going to share with you what I have how to create these. So yeah, that was the first one that I did. Then I created one more with the pinks and yellows. There's all blues there. I think blues are fantastic for mail cards, and a lovely simple grey one there. So hi Babsy. So yes, if you join me, then please say hi, whether that's live or on catch up. And if you do have a go with making one of the cards, then please do let me see what you do. It was actually a team challenge last week, and I didn't get a chance to do it, partly because I thought it was really complicated and I had a bit of a busy week. Oh, look at that, I've already cut my card base. And then I found out that actually it's not really complicated at all. So, as we are, sorry, my little thing's fallen out of my thing. So, as we are at the end of our autumn winter catalogue, and we have a brand new one coming out tomorrow, I thought it was an ideal opportunity. So what I was doing yesterday was essentially sorting out all my old DSP, kind of putting it into colours, doing a bit of organisation. So I have a little pile that contains some kind of purples and pinks and various random things. I've also discovered these sprinkles papers are fabulous for this technique. And then I also had, so this was one from a one sheet wonder that I did that I ended up having left over. I've got some more sprinkles there, so I've kind of got one that's, you know, oranges, pinks, sort of different colours, but I've got old sprinkle sheets, I've got DSP, I've got one sheet wonders, so I've got all sorts. So essentially what I start with is a card base that is 10 by 14.4 for the base. So that is what I'm going to stick all my bits to. I'm hoping that may not be long enough, that one. So what we need to make sure is that all the pieces we cut, actually I can't use those pieces because they are too short, are going to be longer than the 10.5 that I am using. And essentially there is no exact science to this whatsoever, so just popping paper into your trimmer and essentially just cutting it in whatever way you fancy. I just love these sprinkles, love. So I'm just taking a whole different mix of papers and I'm just going to randomly cut, so literally popping it into your trimmer. I tend to find this new one is slightly better with this. Now, so the other thing that is great with this, I'm just going to move those ones, is I've got that silly little bit there, but what I can do is just angle that to cut that bit off. Don't think I can get anything else for this technique out of that one. Oh, actually, might just be able to use that bit. So it's kind of bang on, but we'll be all right. And I think, see, part of me thinks I could get a little something out of that, so I'm not going to throw that away. Not just yet. So these are all the DSPs from the colour collections. I've already got in my little mitts the ones for the new colour collections that we have. So as I say, I'm just literally just any old bits that you find. As I say, the only consideration is that they do need to be at least 10.5 to fit on that card, or that bit's not going to fit at all, or more, because we can cut if we do more. We've got a few of those. Oh, this one might look quite interesting. Didn't really do anything with it once I'd sprinkled on this background, but I thought we might be able to add a little bit of, not using my, use your cutting blade, not your scoring blade. That's rather a nice little combo. You can see this little collection I've got developing up here. So that was a card that I thought an idea would work, and it didn't really work in principle, but didn't throw it away because I loved all the colours around the edge, and it's become extremely useful today. Not going to throw that bit away either. This one I've been cutting butterflies out of, and I might just go with a sliver off the edge there. So the benefit of this trimmer over our previous trimmer is that it does actually kind of grip the paper. So when you have got thinner bits of paper, oh, that's not good because that's got a, so you can just literally fix it in. I need to cut from there to the point. Somehow I ended up with a funny angular bit there, and that does not work. So we will throw that little bit away. Keeping that bit because that might be useful for something. So we'll cut that little bit off. I think we'll leave that for other projects. So I wonder whether I can get one on an angle out of that. I think I might be able to do that on an angle and get a longer piece. With any luck, anyway. So you can cut them on an angle, cut them straight, just do whatever you fancy with the papers that you've got, and this will all make more sense as I start putting this one together. So I'm going to start playing with this one. I'm going to put my purple and pinks aside somewhere. I've now got an array of coloured papers. Now I actually found the easiest way of doing this for me was just to put glue all over that card base. Kind of saves me, and it's worked for me so far, so hopefully this won't fail me on a Facebook Live, because otherwise I'm going to look pretty stupid. Let's start with that one. So essentially on this, whichever side you're going to start, and for me it's more natural to start on the left. Now whether that's because I'm right-handed, I don't know. Just stick that down. Now I've chosen a darker card base because essentially what I want to do, let's have a look at some of these bits, is I want a little bit of that card base to show between each strip of card. So I just find by running my finger between the strips, it just gets rid of any excess glue that is sitting there. But I just find this is, you could glue all the bits individually, but to me that was a little bit laborious and something that I basically couldn't be bothered to do, if the truth be known. So I'm literally just going along the card and just popping some of the bits into place. And it's nice to place, especially with these sprinkles. I don't know why I've got Pringles on my mind. We won't go into a random conversation about sprinkles there. That one's possibly not long enough. Oh, it might be exactly the right length, mightn't it? Let's see. So using the glue just gives me a little bit of wriggle room, because that one is almost exactly the right length. I just want that little bit of glue that's in between there. So I'm just taking whatever paper takes my fancy and just placing it. I haven't tried doing one in, oh sorry, I've got a runny nose. I haven't tried doing one in kind of extreme colours. That's not really my forte, with colours that don't coordinate, but there is no reason why you couldn't. Now that one, you see, has got that funny angle to it, so I just need to cut off because I want a smooth line. I don't want that funny little T-bit. I need a nice straight line, so I'm just going to neaten that up on my trimmer. As I say, the advantage of this newer trimmer is it kind of grips the paper so that you can go back in with a small piece and just trim so that it's straight. There we go. On there, so just popping that one in. Throw another pink in there. So, oops, a daisy. Sorry, I took my whole thing with me there. So start on whatever side is more natural for you to start on. You do need to start on an edge and have a straight edge, though I have found. That's got a bit of pink in, so let's use that, although that edge is slightly, because that's on watercolour paper, it's thicker, so I just want to neaten that off a little bit. Just going to pop that to the edge there. Then I might do that one because that's got a bit of pink and whatever in it. Might go slightly further down like that, so you can just fit your papers however you see fit, however you think they suit your bit of card. So there you go. I've got 2 bits left over, so I'll just put those to one side in my little pile. So then I have, so what you can see now is I have bits that are hanging over the edge. So all I now need to do is just trim that edge and all those little bits. So that's why it's ideal if they are slightly longer, because then you can just cut that down. Again, this trimmer does kind of grip, so it holds the paper in place slightly better, and there's a smidgen that needs to come off that edge, which if I have a smidgen, I generally find it better to start in the middle of the paper, and it's still curled up. Generally find if I start in the middle and go out to either side, it sorts itself out. So the only thing that kind of dictates if you're going to be fussy about which way up this goes is that there is writing on that one. So all these little scraps, they are real scraps, so they are going in. Now there's some foil paper in there which can't be recycled, so that will go into the bin. So there we go. So that's one card. I've put that, I don't know if you can, I'll bring it slightly closer. So you've got a really small line of the darker colour showing through. And what I might do, so what's quite nice is to put that then on a different colour card base. And I'm kind of thinking either Highland Heather or Purple Posy, which is the paler colour. So that's on the paler colour. Oh, I don't have you to bounce off to see what you think. I'm thinking it looks better on the, yeah, I'm going to go with that colourway, I think. So again, always useful to have all your card bases pre-cut. I'm getting to the point where I do need to cut more card bases, so I'll have a little session one day where I just keep them all cut, and then I can just have them ready. I think a lot of the challenge sometimes with crafting is if you haven't got everything ready, it becomes a big task. So the more that you can have ready beforehand, I think the better in my book. I'm only going to put it that way up because of the writing and because I think writing should be the right way up. Although I did one earlier on, the writing was the wrong way up, so hey. But there's one card. Beautifully created, if I do say so myself. But the sprinkles paper just lends itself beautifully to these designs. So there's one. And I will do one in the kind of oranges and pinks, and that kind of challenges me a little bit more. So let's see. So this was one of my pigment ones where the pigment leaked. So this is going to be the kind of basis. Just got the beautiful colours in that. But what a fantastic way to just use up little bits of paper, and so easy to get it all coordinated. So I can't get a longer bit out of that. There's still a bit there that's definitely got some use in it, so we will keep that. Let's see what else we have. So we could bring in, not sure, I think this needs to be, I'm going to go more kind of reds and pinks. I think that would be quite nice. Might have a bit of the orange in there. Let's see how we go. So essentially you don't necessarily want them to be too wide, I would say. Narrower is probably better. So we'll have a couple of reds. These papers obviously have two different backgrounds as well, so we can turn those around as necessary. So I've got some red, do a bit of this melon mambo as well, but you can just see, I'm not measuring, I'm not cutting exactly, I am literally just, how do I feel, what am I going to do, and it's right. So then my writing's on its side, so I'm going to use that one that way around. So yeah, that one is a side on writing, so I might just cut a little sliver out of this one. Some of them can be more straight if you want them to be. It is, let's bring a little bit more yellow in with this one actually. That might work quite well to bring in some of that. Oh, this is gonna challenge my colour senses, I think. These aren't colours I would necessarily. Oh, that's rather pretty though, isn't it? So you might use that one with the writing, that one with that side, and that pulls it all together quite nicely. So I'm going to be a bit careful how I cut a bit off this, but hopefully that's long enough. You see, I've still that, as long as you cut out of the edges, that ties those colours in rather nicely, if I do say so myself. So, oh, do you know what I'm going to do? I have this bit of base card, so I'm going to cut, let's see if this is big enough. I'm going to do the base. If I do the base on an orange, that will show through, and that will bring the, so that is more, that one's gone, that's probably, it's not pumpkin pie, is it? Oh yeah, no, that's probably pumpkin pie, and this is melon mambo. I would say I'm not going to bring the melon, I'm just going to stick with melon mambo. But I bet we've all got little scraps of paper at home that just never quite get used. I'll just throw that bit because that is at the end of its life. So hopefully I've got enough now. So let's see how this one turns out. let's see where we go. So I might actually start with a red. Oh, actually, glue, Marie. Glue, glue, glue. So the weather's going to change, isn't it? It's not going to be quite so beautiful as of tomorrow. So my suntan, the remainders of my suntan are going to have to wait. It's going to go cooler. More excuse to craft. Actually, I've got some wallpaper pieces that absolutely must go up tomorrow. In my office. So if I wake up and it is as forecast, that's tomorrow's project. As well as obviously it's catalogue launch day tomorrow. So very exciting. So yes, I will be putting a little live on tomorrow at 8 PM, just having a look through the catalogue. So I will really kind of just, I think I'll just be focusing on some of my favourites. If people are on, they can let me know what their favourites are, or it could be a little bit of inspiration as to what we can do with some of the new products. So yes, this evening is your last opportunity to order retiring lines. They will be disappearing after this evening, ready for our exciting day tomorrow. So I've got a little order all put together. So if anybody does want anything then that's not retiring and they need me to place the order, then please do let me know this evening or tomorrow morning before I place that order, and I can add it to my order. But you can just see that I'm literally just kind of going with the flow as to where I want to place the pieces, which way up the pieces are going. As I say, you could individually glue all the bits, but I haven't had a problem personally in popping the glue on the card. I mean, don't go crazy with it, but just having a good layer on there. So I've got one little bit left over. That was well calculated, wasn't it? So there we go. Because I've been using the sprinkles, I have got, so I find even with the sprinkles paper it does tend to mark your hands a little bit, but it's not the end of the world, is it? I've just, well, my arms look a lot browner than my hands. I clearly need to put my hands in the So then once we've got all those glued in place, we just need to trim the edges off. As I start with one straight edge, it just is slightly easier, but you can go to your heart's content with how you put your strips on, which way up they are, what your colour combinations are. You know, and you could put, well, I guess you could create a rainbow. That might be quite nice, mightn't it? A rainbow card. You probably have to be a little bit more accurate about how you are measuring and calculating out for a, if you were going to do that. I need a, excuse me, need a baby wipe. So yes, if you are going to create a rainbow, you might have to be a little bit more accurate so that you've got all your different colours of the rainbow in. But if you're not worried, then yes, that's why. What I tend to find is once my hands are a little bit sprinkle stained, it's better to use a wipe. Otherwise, what I noticed is it starts going absolutely everywhere. So I'll just quickly wipe the hands. And what do we think? We could try that on, we could even go with a Poppy Parade envelope, or maybe Melon Mambo. I think I've done the best that I can. Honestly, everything gets slightly covered with inky mess at the moment. But all good, all good. But yeah, I don't want to dive into my box of cards with and then leave fingerprints on every single one that I've actually cut out. But what I'm thinking is we could go a lovely Melon Mambo base. Just tip that bit up. Or, oh, have I got? Oh, I haven't got a Mango Melody, I don't think, and I don't think that's gonna. Because I haven't got Pumpkin Pie really in the card, for me that doesn't work. That card base is Crushed Curry. Might have a Melon Mambo on here. Here we go. So let's just have a quick look. I think I prefer it on the pink myself, so let's pop that one back in and do an inventory of all those card bases. So yeah, so then all we have to do is pop a bit of snail. Oh, sorry, my base card is moving. Pop a bit of snail on the back. Again, it's all just card, so it doesn't need anything stronger. You could glue it if glue was your preference. Make sure if you want the writing the right way up, that it is the right way up. Of course, that bit of writing's the wrong way up, but hey ho. So if you were particularly offended by the writing being the wrong way up there, you could just make sure you put your sentiment in there. So yes, none of these that I have down here have sentiments on currently, but you could use any sentiment that you wanted. Just pop it on a nice kind of either a coordinating card and white card, or you know, the possibilities are endless for greetings. So I think they're quite a handy card to potentially just have without a greeting on, and then when you need something you can pick one and just pop a little greeting on quite quickly. So we've kind of gone the orangey pinky reds, purples with a bit of pink. We've gone the kind of shades of grey, lovely shades of navies and blues here. There's the one that I've put upside down. Kind of the yellows and the pinks on that one. On this one I did actually, it's on a Flirty Flamingo card base, and I used a So Saffron backing, so I actually made that slightly smaller, so there's two sets of backing there. And then this one, the Blackberry Bliss, is just poking out of the side slightly because I tried to line them up before I put the card together. This was the one that I tried before I watched Bruno's video, realising that actually you just use the base card and cut the edges off. So that's the easiest way. So hopefully you found that useful. If you use the technique and have a little play, then do pop some on my Facebook page so I can see what you've been up to. Stay well, stay safe, and I hope you sleep well with the excitement of the new catalogue. And I will catch up with you tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.